So we'll be pulling all this out in a few minutes and getting this cleared out, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how we amend the beds and get them ready for next year. All right, we're gonna start with these two beds that are right beside each other, and we're gonna rake out all these weeds, and we're gonna put a fresh layer of compost down in here. There's a bunch of seed, tomato seed stuff that we're gonna try to get all that out, and then we'll have the boys bring over some compost. They're loading it up off the trailer over there. We're gonna lay down some compost, and then I'll come through and add some Azomite and bone meal and blood meal. And that's how we're gonna amend the beds this year, and we'll see how that works. I will admit that we have not amended our beds before. Most people say to have your soil tested and all of that, and I probably think that's correct, but at the same time I've also read that soil testing is not always accurate, because even in one bed your soil can test differently throughout your bed. Soil nutrients can also be different depending on how much it's rained that day. So if you test it right after it's rained, then there's going to be less nutrients than before it rained. So things like that are really going to affect your soil. I'm not sure if that's true, but it makes sense to me. So what I'm going to do is just hit it hard with some fresh compost, organic compost, some Azomite, blood meal, and bone meal. And that's what we're going to do for 5 of the beds. And then the others we'll have to amend in the spring, but we'll get a head start and get these done in the fall here. And then we'll lay some straw down and cover those real good with mulch for the winter. Thanks for your help, Ethan. He's thrilled. We're gonna go to the first bed here, and we're gonna dump. Do we have enough do we have enough in there for like 3 loads? 3 wheelbarrows maybe? Okay, so we'll do one in this, we'll do half in this. Go ahead and dump that whole thing in this one, because it's low. You don't have to have a lot of soil in your bed, but as you can see, it's getting kind of low. So we're gonna go ahead and dump that in. Caleb's gonna come behind. I've got my team here. Thanks, Caleb. And he's gonna spread that around nicely for me in the bed there. This is actually donkey compost, manure compost. So hopefully it's nice and broken down. And will be some really good stuff for us. All right, well that didn't last long. It turns out our compost is full of fresh manure. So we are going to have to sift through it and pull out what we can, and maybe we won't get to use all of the compost right now. We might have to source it from somewhere else, because it looks like it's mixed with old and new. So I'm trying not to touch my face. I have donkey poop on my hands. So now we're busy sifting through what we already put in the bed. It'll sit for 7 months, so it'll probably compost completely by then. I'm not gonna plant anything during the fall here or winter, so this should be okay for that. We'll see. It's never easy when you get things for free.
These two?
Look at all those Sungold seeds. We're gonna have to clean this bed out a lot, or else we're gonna have a lot of volunteer Sungolds.
I like Sungold.
Aren't they pretty? Good year for Sungold. Another thing we're gonna do, this was our potato bed this year that produced 0 potatoes. So we're going to silage tarp that whole entire length for the entire winter season. That will kill all the weeds, it'll kill all the grass. And there's already good compost under there. It was just a little hot last year, I think. See, that was even from another place. We just have 0 luck with compost. But we have a lot of straw in there, so we're gonna cover that and get that good and taking care of the weeds under control for spring. Well guys, you probably can't tell, the camera is kind of compensating for the light, but if you look, oh, back there, the sun is setting. There it is. The sun is setting and we are not quite finished. So I'll take you around real quick, show you what we have accomplished and what's yet to be done. Okay, so we got this bed filled with some compost, and this one, since these are so high in nitrogen, I'm probably not gonna add any blood meal to these. So I'll come back another day and add some potash and bone meal to these. Then over here, never mind the piles, we've got to get rid of all the weeds and cherry tomatoes there. We're gonna put some compost there. We're gonna pull this metal up. Ava, can you come pull this metal up off this bed and just lay it over where the potato bed was, please? But we got that all pulled out. Caleb's working hard back here. There's my boy. Such good helpers I have. Thank you, boys and girls. They're cutting out all these tomatoes on the back row here, and we are going to leave this cattle panel trellis up because we will likely put beans here next year if we're still here, or something else back here. Shenanigans going on in the chicken coop. Night night, chickens. So we have a few things left to do, but it's gonna have to take place another day or after dark. Ava didn't want those flowers pulled. Oh, okay. So now I'm one less marigold. So we'll finish this another day or later tonight or sometime. So stay tuned. All right, I'm gonna turn you around here so you can look down here and kind of see what it looks like laying on top. Okay, as you can see, it's just a white powder and little pink rocks, which is the potash. And you can't really see the azomite, but it's in there. All right, now I'm gonna just take my broad fork here and blend that in a little bit so that it gets good and mixed in with the soil. Okay, I've recruited a helper. Hi, Naomi. She's gonna finish turning over this soil for me and working the nutrients in. And then we're just gonna lay straw down real as heavy as we can. We have, I'm not sure how much we have, but we're gonna lay straw down. One thing to be sure of when you're using straw on your beds is to make sure, if you can, that it's organic, and if it's not organic, at least it's really, really old, so it doesn't have seeds in it. So far ours has been pretty good. So that's what we're gonna do. Push it down in there. Good job. Just flip it. Okay, can you get a little deeper? Yeah. Over here, maybe in the middle. Poke it down in there a little deeper. Okay. Okay, you wanna come around this side? Good job. All right, so while she's working on that, I'm gonna go over to the next bed over there and, is it? Okay, just lay it to the side. I leave the tags in, so we find those randomly spread throughout, plastic tags. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and do, or I'm gonna go ahead and do the last bed over there. We did not have enough compost last night to do a couple of the beds next to us, so we're gonna work on that in a few minutes. The boys are. But I'm gonna go ahead and amend that bed, and then we're gonna get this cleaned up and get those filled with compost and amended, and hopefully we'll be finished by tonight. We shall see. So far, another word about amendments. One thing I'd really seriously considered, and I probably would have done it, but I already had the amendments on hand. Something else you can do, even in raised bed, is grow cover crops. You can grow sweet clover, some kinds of peas, I think it's ryegrass, a couple other things. But if you go to any online seeds shop like True Leaf Market, they have usually cover crop bags, big bags, and you can literally just sow cover crops through the winter and let them grow, and then before they flower in the spring, they'll be fine over the winter. And then before they flower in the spring, you just till them under. So basically, they provide a good cover for your ground through the winter, and then they add back that green in the spring, and then you're ready to go when you're ready to plant your summer garden. So cover crops is something I really probably will do next year. It's something I'm really interested in. So I'm gonna research it more, make sure I know what I'm doing. Hopefully. We'll see. Nothing ever works out the way I want it to, but we're gonna try it and see. Okay, we're almost finished. We're out of staples. There's no more in the box? No. Okay, we're almost finished laying the silage tarp down. Why does that make me feel so good? It's like a nice warm blanket for the winter. All right, girls, you're working hard back there. Thank you. And that's it for today, because once again, it's getting dark. So we are finished. Everything got finished, pretty much. I have one bed that did not get amended, that is empty, and I might go ahead and plant my garlic there, although I have a ton of garlic. We had a great garlic harvest. Probably got about 150 bulbs of garlic sitting in my utility room, so I'm not sure I need more garlic, but why not, you know? So I might plant garlic in that bed. All right, guys, I came up to the porch to show you the amendments that we're using. It didn't really film well out there, so I decided to bring it up here and just show you what we're using on our beds to amend them. We have some lettuce and other things out there, rutabagas, carrots, things like that. So those beds will be amended in the spring. But here's what we used. Okay, the first thing is bone meal. This is the Espoma brand. This just adds back phosphorus to the soil, and I use I think I use 3 cups per bed. It's not rocket science, it's not that hard. I just spread it around. I just split my beds into about 3 sections. I think it's a pound, it says on here. 10 pounds per 100 square feet. So I'm not sure I put 5 pounds on there, but I put some. So I did that right onto the compost, and then we turned that in. Also, I did not add blood meal, actually, because this is a good source of nitrogen, though, if you're nitrogen deficient in your soil, or your soil is old, or you don't have compost. The compost we ended up putting on, as you saw, had a lot of, we think, hot material still in it, had a lot of manure still in it. So even though it didn't smell, we're still going to let that sit and not put any blood meal on it quite yet, because we think it already has enough nitrogen. So the blood meal adds a lot of nitrogen. That'll give you good, beautiful, green, leafy plants. It's essential, but this is the brand we use, just so you know. Also, this is my bucket of Azomite. Azomite is just a trace mineral. It adds trace minerals back. It's a product found from like volcanic eruptions. They mined it in Utah. It's organic. But it basically just adds a bunch of trace minerals back into your soil, supposedly. So I did about 3 cups of this as well and spread that around. Now, one thing I don't have up here is potash. And I did potash at about the same rate, about 3 cups per bed. And the potash adds potassium back into your soil. So I ran out of that, so I really need to get some more of that. I think I only got 2 beds completely amended with that. All right, so let's go out here and see. You can kind of see from here, we got our plastic laid down where the potato bed was. We're gonna leave the strawberries alone. Probably gonna pull all the herbs out. And I probably will only leave the lavender, and that's because I want that to go to seed and I want that to spread. So hopefully this whole bed will be lavender. Sorry about that. Hopefully this whole bed will be lavender in the spring. All right, but as you can see, we took down all the cattle panel trellises in these 3 beds, and then a couple beds over there had them, so we're to rework those. We laid down, this already had some straw. This is where our carrots and rutabagas are. They're trying, I'm not sure. I think this bed really needed to be amended. So we got that one done, we got that one done. All the tomatoes are gone. Got some lovely sparkler tip radishes growing. That pretty not cabbage, what is that? Lettuce. Gonna get a good drink of water in a little bit. And then we got these last 2 done. We still have some peas and green beans And these 2 beds did not get amended, but these have collards and supposedly lettuce, but it did not come up. I tried the pelleted lettuce, thinking that would be easier to germinate. It really has not worked for me yet. It might still come up, we'll see. And then back there, that one won't get amended. I will probably do half garlic in that one. I haven't decided. And those are potatoes, a few little potato plants I stuck in. And that's it. If you walk back here, this is where all our watermelons were. And they are gone. And this looks pretty rough. I have to say, we cut our holes right on the seam, and it really tore pulling those out. But we still really do like the weed fabric from Grower Solution. And that's it. She's put to bed for the winter for now. The thing I hate about growing lettuce and things like that and carrots in the fall and all of these little crops, I forget to water them. My brain is like, okay, we're done with the garden. Don't need to do anything today. And then I have to remind myself, no, wait, you still have peas to water and green beans to water and lettuce to water, and I forget them. So fall gardening is a little tough for me. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was kind of crazy. I feel like it was kind of all over the place. But it was just a hectic work time and we needed to get it done. And if you have any questions about raised bed gardening, I will try to answer them, or at least send you in the direction of someone who can answer that question. If you have any questions about amending, I will try to answer those. But again, if I cannot, I will send you in the direction of someone who can, or a website who can, or anything like that. We'd love to have your kind and respectful comments in the comment section below. And we're getting ready for a rainstorm, so I'm going in. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you're seeing, feel free to subscribe. We would love to have you follow us on our journey into homesteading and raising our own food. Thanks, we'll talk to you later. Bye.